Drivin Ivan here, and Subaru has been many things to the auto world. They were the first to bring you all-wheel drive really popularly here in America, a Japanese manufacturer doing that. That was AMC, of course. But they also were rally legends in the 90s. And I'm a big fan of rally. I have a Lancia Delta Integrale, and they ruled the 70s and 80s. So I'm anxious to see what this WRX Subaru brings to you as really an entry-level car these days. Does it still have that rally legend appeal? What's a manual transmission like in 2023? Not very common on cars these days. So I'm going to answer all these questions, and we're also going to see if I'm impressed. Well, I'm definitely impressed with the shape. I was walking by this dealership, actually. I'm getting a car service up the road, and it really stopped me in my tracks. I like the rear treatment right here. Rugged fender enhancements here, and they're up front too, basically adding to the rugged look, and a little bit louvered here, which is kind of cool. But it's really just this kind of shape in the back. It struck me as being kind of new and innovative for the Subaru. I hadn't seen it before. The hatchback, of course, is legendary. That's what these rally hot hatches usually take the shape of. But you know, they went with, in this case, the sedan. It's a four-door, so that's a great option to have in your rally car. And manual transmission too, of course, but we'll get to that. This car is, of course, a dealer car. Thank you very much to Frederick, Maryland Subaru. They're providing this car for me. And like I said, it's just a spur-of-the-moment thing. I like the shape. I love the color blue. All my cars are blue if I get to choose them. Go ahead and Google what does Drivin Ivan drive. And have you smashed that like button yet? I hope you have, because I really do like this Subaru WRX. I think it's a very striking car. And of course, with Subaru's rally history and legendary performances in those races, you know, win on Sunday, sell on Monday. These cars are very desirable to people who enjoy rally racing and know the history of these cars. So, yeah, just even before talking about how it drives and seeing the interior, which we'll get to in a second, I am impressed with the shape, and all that has to do with the image of this car and the history too. Inside, you get black cloth seats with big bolsters. I think I saw some Recaro seats, which are probably optional. Those are pretty cool, but these really have good side bolstering to hold you in, and I like the red piping and stitching on them. Well, it's red stitching, not piping, but like it. Everything looks very polished and clean and modern. You've got a dead pedal for your foot when you're not operating the clutch. That's a good thing. They're very rugged and racy looking, very nice. That's what you want in your WRX rally car. 6-speed manual transmission with reverse. You pull up and slide it over for reverse, but normal stuff like cup holders also present, which is good. A real honest handbrake, that's also very good to have in your rally car, of course, or just an accessory mode, but you get a tachometer, speedometer, info screen in the center, even telling you your range, a couple of trip meters as well, nice to have. Cruise control, controls right on the steering wheel on the right hand side. On the left hand side, your source and your radio and your volume, your Bluetooth controls for your phone, all very nice. Flat bottom steering wheel, like Audi basically, and very large infotainment screen. Very, very nice. And big buttons, which you can access, of course. And also, these are what I like to see. Volume knob and tuning knob. Old school, yes, but I like them. Even though you can control some of that on the steering wheel, I still like the tactile feel of the volume and the tuning knob. Just a nice touch to have there. Controls for ventilation and everything also on the screen. A little bit more storage up here. You've got a really nice connectivity here with your USB and also your aux in, and of course a regular car charger too. Very nice. A little bit of a racy look here on your door panels. A little bit of carbon fiber look, very racy and storage down below for another cup and other items. You've got the glove box here and your vents, of course, all the way across. This is really an entry-level car, so you don't have a lot of options down here, but you've got the trunk release, and you can cancel the driving aids too, which is pretty nice, but I don't recommend that unless you really know what you're doing. And this one is to dim your dashboard lights. Controls for your power windows, door locks, and outside mirrors here. You can cancel the windows so that the kids don't mess with them back there. And so there you go. An excellent sporty interior, complete with your manual transmission, but yet all of the modern conveniences for the tech world that we have today. Lots of safety built in too, with airbags as well. Out back, you have seating for 3 across. You've got your armrest with a couple of cup holders. It folds down, and then you also have some connectivity and charging for your rear passengers too. Yes, of course, your seats fold down and back, giving you ample storage. Larger trunk than I expected. Good to have in your 4-door sedan, certainly. These optional floor mats, WRX, are nice to have too. Nice to have push button start, certainly. Powering this 2022 Subaru WRX is a 2.4 liter boxer engine, turbocharged of course, 271 horsepower, 248 pound-feet of torque, and basically you get a 0 to 60 time in this one of 5.5 versus 5.4 for the automatic. Quarter mile though takes 13.9 with the manual and 14.1 with the automatic. So there you go. Acceleration's a little quicker with the CVT, but the quarter mile is achieved quicker with the manual. Also, you get slightly better fuel economy, 22 miles per gallon overall with this manual transmission car, but a bit more with the CVT. So technically the CVT is more efficient, but I'll speak to that while I'm actually driving it. So the 2022 WRX comes in 4 different packages: base, premium, limited, and GT. And of course you can get it with a manual transmission, the sporty way to do it, the only way for many enthusiasts. But also there's a CVT, and if you want the safety features like lane assist and adaptive cruise control, which I'm actually a big fan of, well, then you have to go with the CVT. But I like the way they have plenty different ways to offer the WRX, and those range from about 30,000, which is basically where this one is, about 33,000 out the door, up to about 42,000. So about a range of $12,000, and you get a lot of different ways to have your WRX. And this, of course, is the sporty way. It's got everything you need for a basic 4-door sedan. Plus, it has that great turbocharged 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter engine. And is it quick? Yes, it is quick. I'm trying to keep it safe here, of course, but it's definitely got some torque. Perhaps the mid-200s torque doesn't really tell the whole story. With the all-wheel drive, it's very grippy, and although I'm certainly not pushing this car too hard, I can see that the all-wheel drive is very grippy, and it also has, like I said, a heck of a lot of torque. Nice engine tone in the Boxer engine. Now, in terms of the way the stick feels, well, I would call it pretty snicky. It's maybe not like the Mazda Miata's stick, but it does have a very good feel to it. It goes right to where you want it. Pull up for reverse, and when you do that, you also get the backup camera, which is awesome. But there you go. It's a very nice stick, and surprisingly a very light clutch effort needed. So this is a car you can live with, and even as a manual. Again, people are going to prefer the CVT just for the ease of driving, and hey, I'm glad it comes with a CVT. You can get all those driver's aids, but a lot of people are going to insist on the manual, and it's great to see it here. Subaru definitely has the all-wheel drive safety. I took a legacy wagon on a trip, and it was pretty funny because other cars were off the road. My friend had a SUV, and that was off the road, but the Subaru legacy wagon just would not lose traction in the snow. And these WRX cars, well, they're actually, of course, you can have a bit of fun with them, but, you know, it's still a Subaru, so it's going to be safe. You can turn the traction control off in this, and that's a good option, but really, you have to know exactly what you're doing. You don't want to really play around with turning off the traction control unless you really, really know what you're doing. And I'm sure that many drivers and people who want to own this WRX certainly have had some time, perhaps off-road or on the track. And this car is certainly a car you can drive to the track, drive on the track, and then drive home. But again, if you're going to do anything like that, remember, your insurance doesn't cover you for your track time. You can get separate policies for those, so do that. Of course, some people will rally these in amateur rallying and things like that, and they're awesome cars for that. And, you know, a lot can be said about the draw to these cars because of the rally history, and I'm just a huge fan of rally. Colin McRae back in the day, and all of the famous rally car drivers who drove these cars and made them famous, and the successes that they had in the 90s. Well, that's why I have my Lancia Delta Integrale. So what we have here is a very capable car. It's got 4 seats, and it's got all the tech you need to keep connected, and it also has the fun of that 2.5 turbocharged engine. So I think it is a really great car that is both sporty and practical at the same time. So if you want this for your first car, maybe you can convince your parents to get you one. So there you go. I'm definitely impressed with this Subaru WRX. I like the many different ways you can configure it and have it, and I think it's a good balance of basically performance car and very reliable all-wheel drive transportation for the modern age. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, The Real Drivin Ivan on TikTok, and also just search any car and Drivin Ivan and you'll find it. Again, I want to thank Frederick Subaru for providing this great car. And again, thank you for watching. Smash that like button. I'm Drivin Ivan.